I would like to call our Wayne Township public hearing meeting to order. We will do attendance.
Austin Knox, trustee present.
Dominic Dickey, deputy trustee present.
Patsy Brewer, recording secretary, but
Curtis.
Present.
Anthony Emery, finance president.
Pat Turner, board chair present.
Curtis Whitaker, financial advisor, present via Teams.
Thanks, So, the procedures for our public hearing, you'll be presenting the budget, proposed budget, and then also, be presenting, capital improvement plan. There will be public comments at the end of those.
Curtis, you want to jump in or you want me to jump in first?
You can go ahead, trustee.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about our WTR 2509-11. I'm going to talk about the recommended salary resolutions first. We touched based on that a couple months back, Curtis, 2 months back.
Yes.
Yep, so we touched base on it. The one thing that we are changing, we are going to change all our 90% people from 33 hours to 35 hours. And we touched base on that a little bit last week. What that's going to do, it's going to help us twofold. It's going to help put some more money in our caseworkers' pockets and people that will work 33 hours, more money in their pockets. But it's also going to allow us to see more clients. You guys have seen month in and month out how busy we've been. So it's having those 2 extra hours added each week to each caseworker is going to work tremendous for us. So that's what the change is on that. Other than what we previously discussed 2 months ago, I believe that was. So that's the change on that.
Trustee, I have a question. Just out of curiosity, so adding 2 hours a week, what theoretically, how many, have you ever figured like how many more people you'll see? That's a good
In a
point.
perfect world,
Yeah.
we want to see an extra 2 people a week.
Okay.
In a perfect world, but we know not every case is black
Yeah.
and white. There's going to be some gray in each case. So if we can get, I know.
So a caseworker would be able to see about two more
Two
people a
extra
week.
people. Yes, sir.
Okay, interesting,
So
okay.
that should help us. Right now, we're scheduled out pretty far, so hopefully that eliminates how far out we're scheduled.
Okay, great, because some of those are, emergency,
Yes,
people
sir.
need to get in.
Yes, sir. But I will say we haven't getting emergencies in right away.
Okay, for the
As
emergencies.
it's working, they might have to wait for a little bit for the day, but we are going to make sure.
All right. Okay.
So, yep, so I'm good with that. Curtis, you want to jump in now with the rest of the budget?
Yes. The trustee presents the 2026 estimated Wayne Township Trustee's Office budget. You should have received in your packets information about the budget. So I won't bore you too much with the details, but we've been talking over the last several months about changes that have happened, legislative changes. A couple of those changes in particular that we've discussed have been Senate Bill 1, which will reduce the townships, and not just the township. This is impacting all governmental units in the state of Indiana in the next couple of years in a negative way. So we're going to lose a percentage of dollars that we receive through taxpayer dollars. In addition to that, there is a piece of legislation that we've discussed that impacts our cash that we have available, and we've discussed that, which is the CIP. That has a tremendous impact on cash. So, as we've discussed over the years, how efficient the township has been from a budget perspective. So, you all know, since Trustee Stevenson and those who worked with us over those periods, and then up to and including the work that Trustee Knox has done and the board has done, that every year we've reduced what's called the levy, the amount of property taxes that we collect from the community. And over the years, we've given back over 100% of what it is that we have been able to collect from a property tax perspective. However, because of these changes that are happening, legislative changes, we will no longer be able to operate in that way. So you will see in this budget, and Mr. Henry, you always ask, boy, we have a lot of cash and
Yes.
we've never been this cash rich before. Well, these legislative changes are forcing us to spend down the cash that we have. And so in this budget, if you go to Form 3, Form 3 is the what we had to advertise. I don't think these things are numbered. That's probably something that they can
It's
do.
gonna be towards the middle there.
But it says notice to taxpayers.
Okay.
This one, you're gonna do some all of them, but-
If you find the notice to taxpayers,
Okay, see it. Mhm.
all right. So you'll see up at the top underneath today's public hearing date and time, our estimated civil max levy, $4,825,711. You'll see in mine it's blue. It may not be blue on yours, but number 5 down below it says current tax levy. We're at almost $3.3 million. So every year in the past, we've given back about $1.5 million to the taxpayers. And as I've shared with you, taxpayer doesn't see it because we're not alone, right? We have the city of Fort Wayne, and we have the library, and we have the schools that are all on this levy together. So any money that we give back, a taxpayer doesn't see it. It just means that those other units of government that weren't doing what we were doing, giving money back, they get a little bigger piece of the pie, if you will. Pie is 100%.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. That list includes the county, doesn't it? Who doesn't?
It does, yes.
Allen County.
Yes, it also includes the Allen County.
Make
Good,
that
great.
point.
Yes, thank you for the clarification. But we would be maybe, let's say 3% of the pie, but because we didn't take this, now we're only like 1.5% of the pie. The pie doesn't go away. It just means that those others get a little bit more of the pie that is there. However, this year you'll notice, and where it says number 3, maximum estimated funds to be raised, we're at exactly our maximum levy. This is the first time we've been there, and probably I've been with you guys for a long time, probably since year 3 of being at the township. Every other year, this number has been reduced so that we're not asking for our maximum levy. But because of these legislative changes, those times have to change. And so if you look at line 2 or column 2, our total that we're expected to spend next year is $8 million. $8,011,366, which is way more than you guys know we've been spending in the past. And it's because of these legislative changes that we have to do this. And we have to show that the funds that we have are going to be spent. And so you'll see in column 3, 25,711 of that is going towards the general fund. And it's because we have, as we go into our public meeting or into our regular meeting, we're in the public session now, you'll note in our regular meeting how much cash we have in our general fund. And then you'll also note in our regular meeting how much cash we currently have in our Township Assistance Fund and how much cash then we have overall. So the next resolution that we'll talk about what that looks like and why we need to do this. But essentially, we're levying at the max, which again we haven't done in probably 12 to 14 years, and we're doing that because of the legislative changes that have happened.
By legislative changes, we mean our state legislature, don't we?
Yes, we mean our state senate, our state representatives, and our governor. And I'm going to pause right there and ask if there are any additional questions relative to this, because this is a public meeting, and it really is, as we've talked about before, for the public to ask questions about the township and the budget that's being presented.
Are you ready to fire away?
Yeah, I had at least a couple,
Okay.
right off the bat. You mentioned earlier, scheduling and how far out it's gone. That's anticipated client.
Yep, that's what we're seeing now. That's not anticipated. That's what we're actually physically seeing every day, so.
Could you put that in a time frame, please?
So for instance, if somebody were to come in, we've got 8 caseworkers, we're gonna hire 9 here in a second, hopefully next week. But they might have to wait until maybe 2 or 3 weeks out to get an actual appointment scheduled with us if they don't have an emergency. If they've got an emergency, they might have to sit out in the lobby all day long and wait to get that disconnect taken care of. So we're just trying to shorten down that waiting period from that 2 weeks down to hopefully maybe a week and a half, week. So,
To minimize discomfort to the patients.
absolutely, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Could you? Okay, then I'm gonna ask you to elaborate on another topic. I think Mr. Whitaker mentioned. The refunds, the unspent money,
Mhm.
is that what that?
That's the unrestricted funds.
Yeah, well, Curtis said that about $1 million a year goes
Yeah.
back to the other, available for the other governmental entities.
Uh-huh.
And that isn't, the public or, interested parties don't see that.
The other entities pick it up, like he said, the county might pick it up, the city.
Ah,
might
they
pick
get
it up.
another sliver of the
Yeah,
pie.
yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, is this a new development of the next year's estimate of spending and requiring it to be all spent? Or,
Yeah, that just came out from the state legislator this year.
and this is all a consequence of Senate Bill 1?
Senate Bill 1 and House Bill
Passed.
1461. Yeah,
And that was the House version.
Yeah.
That was passed by the General Assembly?
There was 2 different bills. There was the Senate bill that was the tax bill, and then there was another bill that's called the road infrastructure bill that actually 1461 is what it is, which that 30% is what they're trying to take from us.
Thank you very much for the clarification.
Absolutely. Curtis, did I miss anything?
Nope, that's it. That's House and Road Act 1461 that passed in 2025. And we'll talk about that next. So.
I thought you made it very clear what's at hand, Mr. Whitaker. I thought it was very articulate and very clear, so I don't have any further questions to you.
Curtis, can I touch on one more part in our budget?
Please do.
If you flip to page. Let's see, it's gonna be on page 4, so it look like this. First is 840, the township assistance part. We're showing what we're increasing. I just want to
Yeah.
show you what we're doing, 'cause every month we show you guys our month spend down report. But we are actually increasing in our budget line items for shelter, public utilities, household, clothing and shoes. So that way, hopefully we don't have to keep coming to you guys to allocate more money throughout the year. And it's actually a decent sized jump, wasn't it, Curtis, from last year?
It was can jump.
Yeah, so that's another reason why this budget looks a little bit bigger, because we did ask for more money in these sections here.
Okay.
Just because we do anticipate there's gonna be more need coming up this year. So I know we've seen it this year. We just want to be ready for this coming up here. So that's what I just want to throw in there, Curtis.
In a typical year, this budget is probably, it's 8 million now. It's probably half of this.
So, Mr. Whitaker, but by all means, we have every right to spend this levy, all of it.
Yes.
In the past, we have allocated whatever was left over, as you mentioned, to these other entities. But there's no ramifications at all. I mean, we are in the, I mean, this is all kosher, correct? I mean, there's nothing we have every right to spend what we have been given, correct?
Yeah, in the past, we've been trying to be really good stewards, and we have been, and the board has been, and the
Yes.
trust been good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. If we didn't need it, we didn't ask for it. And like I said, if you look on your tax bill, if you have a property, you could, and it breaks it out. Portion you pay to county, city, township, school, other. You would
Yes.
see you would see a reduction, a negative number for the township, because we would always give back our portion of the levy. But this year you won't see that because unfortunately we it's the first year in a long time that we're not able to do that.
Okay, but does that give you does that give you grief?
It does. I'm over it now though. I've
Okay, yeah, I'm curious, but by all means, we've had the right all along.
we
But
have.
but you just have, we've been very conservative in the spending, but this
Yeah.
time we're basically saying, okay, all right. That's
This
all.
time legislators have spoken, the governor has spoken, and we need to do what we need to do to ensure that the clients receive the services that they receive. The next legislation, I think if we move beyond this, it may become clearer with the next public hearing on the CIP, which is really why we have to spend these dollars.
Okay.
And then and the trustee, I would tell you, has some thoughts about how to do this. One of them, which he brought to the board, we had a meeting with what's the name of the group? Fort Wayne, Greater Fort Wayne, Greater Fort Wayne, and we're talking about some things with that, all in the mindset of encumbering the cash that we have. So we can, if you don't mind, we can now move to the next public
Okay.
hearing document, and that is what's called the Capital Improvement Plan, and it is also a part of the documents that you have been provided. So that the town, this only impacts townships in the state of Indiana. So no other governmental unit but townships. As you all know, you've been on the board for a long time, that they're always trying to figure out how to get rid of townships, how to attack townships. And so this is another way to attack townships. It's called the Township Capital Improvement Plan. And the Township Capital Improvement Plan says that any unrestricted dollars that the township has, 30% of those dollars have to be transferred to the Roads and Infrastructure Fund that this board is going to be asked to create, so that those 30% can be sent to the city or the county to cover roads and infrastructure. So, and I'll just do, I don't have it, but when a trustee gives the report, you'll hear like we may have almost $2 million or something, 1.5 million in our general fund, right? So if we don't encumber these dollars, and as are unrestricted, the 30% of that, so you can do quick math, that's almost $500,000 we would have to give to the city for road infrastructure. And that's just in that fund. We have about $500,000 in our other fund, our debt service fund. Thank you, Trustee. Our rainy day fund, we have money, 500 and something, 64,000 in our rainy day fund. So we've calculated this. We would have to give out 1.6 million in our general fund that we're estimating, 445,000 in our debt service fund. We would have to give, that's almost $2 million. So You take 2 million, 30% of that, that's about $600,000 that we would have to give to the city for streets and roads. Now, I can tell you that's probably half of a block, city block, right? Or a city block. It's not going to get you a whole lot of pavement and things with $600,000, but they're taking those dollars away from the townships. And so one of the things that they've asked us to do and for the board to approve by September 30th of this year is a capital improvement plan. So inside of this document, you have the trustees' capital improvement plan that gets us to not have to give one red penny to the city or the county for roads and infrastructure, because we have our own infrastructure issues and needs that we want to do things with. We have equipment that we need to purchase, that we've, have a timeline, and we have funding that we could have done without raising taxes on taxpayers. But this forces us to do that. So I mentioned Greater Fort Wayne because we talked about this building that's next door to us that we may be able to do some things with them. So we think it more prudent to look at other ways to invest in the township and to bring economic activity to the township without it being streets and roads. And the trustee has some thoughts about it. He came to me. I liked his idea. I shared with him several years ago, probably 20 years ago. This happened in Center Township in Indianapolis, where they took a building and they were their own, they had space in the building, but then they had others who they leased space to, and they had some other things that they could do to bring market-based rent downtown. And the trustee has those same thoughts and ideas of the township being a catalyst for economic improvement right downtown where we are. And so that is how a portion of the dollars, the 2 million, we're looking at doing some economic development in the building that we're in and the Party Apart building across the street from us, in conjunction with Greater Fort Wayne and a developer that we don't have at this point that we are looking to do some things with, so that we're not just saying that we are helping individuals who need a hand up, but we're also doing things to change the trajectory of the economics of downtown Fort Wayne. In addition to that, the trustee has talked to me about homelessness, and he talked to me about building a shelter. And you all know when Trustee Stevenson took office, the one thing that we had was a shelter that got a lot of publicity for the wrong reason. And I shared that with Trustee Knox. Trustee, we do not want to get into a shelter situation where we get publicity for the wrong reason. But I did share with him that I love the idea of housing homeless and homeless veterans. And the trustee said, hey, I like that idea. So he's met with a number of entities. Two of them are with the city. So the city has some ideas of how to help homeless. And in fact, the trustee told me that there is a building built recently, and some homeless are downtown, and they're trying to figure out ways and what to do with them. And so he's been in meetings, but they don't have, they're still in a preliminary place. So they know how much they need. One was like 1.5 million. Another one was over $1 million. They don't even know where funding's coming from. And the trustee says, hey, we're able to help in some way. So included in the budget is some money for that if we're able to, for homeless projects. There are some gentlemen who are in the room today who have a project that they currently work with homeless veterans. And they took a old church and they transformed that church and they feed the veterans and they do things with veterans. And so we've had one meeting with the trustee. He had a lot of questions for them because they want to build tiny homes for veterans. They come and share with us that they see communal living and they know that some guys want to stay on the system and there are other guys who want to get off of the system. And because they're together, the guys that want to do right get pulled down by the guys that don't want to do right. And they see that every day. And so they want to separate the population. And I think one good way to do that is by building a tiny home, which is really for one individual. And the ones that they know want to really change their life in a different trajectory, in a different way. So this group, they have projects with homeless. So they teach them how to fix cars, and they teach them things about how to do things with animals, service animals, and other workforce development and skills that they are working with these veterans with, along with others in the workforce development space. And so the trustee has some dollars in the budget that provide for maybe 200,000 to 300,000 to help build some tiny homes so that we can help folks move and transition, the ones that want to have help. And so all of this is in line with what we do as a township. It's in line with the trustee's vision to help those who need a hand up and not a handout. And it helps us with this CIP issue that we currently find ourselves with. So we got to spend the money. Let's do that. Let's do it in an impactful way. Let's do it in a meaningful way. Let's do it in a way that helps homeless, but also homeless veterans who've given their life to and served, and now they have other issues, and we want to help them, move. And that's what this CIP is about. And I'll stop there because I've talked way too much.
That was excellent.
Thank you. That was very good.
Yeah, thank you.
That was very good, Mr. Whitaker.
All right.
And so again, this is a public hearing. And so, Madam Chair, this is a time that we open it up for the public.
Okay. Any comments from the public?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the trustee, the board, Mr. Whitaker, for giving us an opportunity to actually be in this space to have conversation about, enhancing the well-being of the homeless. I do have, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Dave Thomas. I work for a 4-acre middle school. I'm a school counselor in Memorial Park Middle School. I've been 30 years in the school system. On the verge of retirement, not quite yet. Yeah. But I farm, have an urban farm here. I do have a farm member. We work closely with the federal government doing contracts and, donate food to the Community Harvest Food Bank to be donated to the food to the community. The farm is in close proximity to Charles Community Service Project as well. So we feed St. Andrew's Kitchen. We deliver there and help feed the homeless there as well. But as far as how the veterans, we have land already. We've already moving in that direction. But this opens up the opportunity to expedite the process and enhance what we're already doing. I'll allow the rest of these guys to introduce themselves and give personal feedback and open you some questions.
My name is Charles Law. I'm a real estate developer. We have houses for a living. I build houses also with Smuckers Construction, my farmers partners. I'm also the owner of St. Andrew's Catholic Church Monastery. I'm partners with the Misfits, which due to being overwhelmed, I transferred the food pantry over to Donnie Foster, but I'm also a farmer in a farming program with the U.S. government. So we give food and produce to I would say 5 or 6 food pantries in Fort Wayne, Angola, Fremont, Indiana, Marion, Indiana, also Angola, and this one with them. That's not Marion, it's Travis South. Anyway, I can't, it's another one down there, not this other than Marion. Months.
Delaware, yeah.
Yeah, so we in a full program with them. We distribute probably about 13 shelters for us being able to distribute food to our community. Besides the shelter St. Andrews, which we own. I also own Prime Boxing Gym, which is an at-risk youth boxing gym right across from Metro Field, which we deal with DCL foster kids. Juvenile, and it's also open to the public. We USA Boston sanctioned, so we have a fight team, and the kids able to fight all over the country. How the homeless ministry came about was just seeing just the stories about veterans. My perception was most of these guys just threw themselves away and never became productive. But I never knew about that. Most of them was veterans. Fort Wayne created a homeless task force through Mayor Henry a couple of years ago. I was at that meeting. Make a long story short, they gave $4.2 million for the homeless problem. Had people come in and they asked questions about how a group of homeless wasn't working together because someone wanted to hand up, someone just wanted to hand out, and the tiny home concept came up because we were doing tiny homes. So they asked me to do some research on tiny homes. They said Fort Wayne had like ship containers. It wasn't no ADUs at the time. They didn't want houses on 400 square foot. All that changed. So I ended up working with architect Macy Johnson. I worked with Brian at the planning department. I worked with Brad at the housing development. And it took about 5 or 6 months to even get through the concept of being able to build a tiny home. Once we got through that process with planning and the architecture designs in the building department, me and Chris set up a meeting with Mayor Henry. We presented everything to Mayor Henry, and then Mayor Henry put, what was the name he put? Andre. He put Andre in charge.
Charles, I'm gonna interrupt you really quick. Can you also introduce Chris if he's there?
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris. I am a service-connected disabled combat veteran. I am a board member of the Indiana Governor's Challenge for Veteran Suicide Prevention, and I am a proud officer of the Lakota Sioux Tribe, representing the tribe to the federal government. I've been working in veteran suicide prevention for maybe 20 years. So I do the service animals. We get these service animals, we train them, we pair them through the VA with veterans that need them. But more importantly, over the years of doing this, I'm also the outreach street portion of Prime. So when we're done here, I'm the guy feeding the homeless in the park every night. So we learned you have to house them first. You can't give addiction services and put them on the street. You can't tackle mental health issues and put them on the street. They must be housed first. So that kind of brings us to the initiative here. But additionally, I've spent a considerable amount of time working with the VA, with the IDVA, with federal and state programs to build support around this particular program. So we're not just going to build some tiny homes and say, adios, guys. We're going to really connect them not only with the VSO to get their ratings, to enable them to have better care with the VA, but also mental health, suicide prevention. We have employment. Quick story, I'll make it short. Through the DEVOP, Adam Cologne, I found a veteran, homeless veteran, dealing with court issues, all kinds of this stuff. Fast forward 1 year later, Today, he's working on a top secret program with me for an intelligence organization. So it is possible, it is repeatable, we have done it, and we're gonna do it again.
Charles, what's your last name?
Law, LAW.
Okay. And Chris, what's your last name?
McKenna, McKenna.
Thank you.
So they came out tonight just to share, because the trustee again is looking at tackling homelessness on 3 different levels, 2 with the city and then 1 with this group that clearly has a lot going on from a homeless veterans perspective. I see Mr. Henry's chopping his lips, so go ahead, Mr. Henry.
Well, I just, they have spoken about my brother, former mayor, deceased now, but how he was committed to the veterans. He himself was a veteran. So I'm happy to hear that we launched this with my brother Tom. Didn't surprise me because he's always been very adamant fighter for veterans, but more importantly, those who really are in the cracks right now in society. And so carry on.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I especially appreciate you gentlemen coming and talking about your work and what you've been doing and what your plans are, because you often see some political officials complaining about the fact there isn't a plan. Well, sounds like we've been working on putting a plan together. Well, I don't want to.
Well, and not only that, but just last week, one of our councilmen has done a raid on our encampments. Our just last week, and just basically a task force saying, you know, they just knock them down and thinking, okay, you just don't knock them down, you put them up. You don't knock them down, you put them up. So it sounds to me, Charles, that you're working awful hard, all of you. And this is not an easy job, you know.
And actually, we worked with the sheriff department. We worked with Judge Winnie Davis 3 years ago to stop them from doing that over at the river.
Yes.
And Judge Winnie Davis and the sheriff, they stopped them and gave them a grace period because all they were doing was taking the tents and blankets that were donated. They were taking their IDs. It took 8 months to get IDs for some of them. And they were bringing a barn dumpster and just throwing it in the trash. That's all the police were doing.
See, that does a lot for their marketing. That's why they're talking about the people's there. And
Yeah, it's
why else would people vote for?
Yeah. So we wanted to share that because I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. We still got more. We got another whole.
Yeah, got a whole meeting to go.
Yeah. So, but
All right.
this is the public hearing. And if there are not any other questions, Madam Chair, I would recommend that we close out of here and then go to our regular meeting.
I will adjourn our public hearing.
we vote. Okay. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Each at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we were gonna get in there.
No.
Nice to meet you. It was nice to meet you. I appreciate it. I'm very good. I appreciate it. Appreciate
But if you guys don't have the meeting, we have a meeting that we get ready.
What was that, Mr. Whitaker? I'm sorry.
I was saying they don't have to leave. We have another meeting that we're getting ready to.
Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me, everybody.
Yeah.
But it's another meeting. It's up to you guys.
I'm gonna go ahead. But tell Nicole, Dave Thomas said, right. I'm just she working at every lady to be on house. She still works at home.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, you have a good one, my friend.
No.
We'll be in touch, finding the calls and that's all. Yes, sir. Good to see you. Thank you.
Excellent.
I have to come to my main township board meeting to find out what's really happening.
Really going on.
Yeah, so people are bargaining fruit, you know what I'm talking.
And
All right.
talking about.
So let's move on to our regular board meeting.
Okay.
So I will call this order and we'll do attendance.
Also not trustee present.
Thank you, Deputy Trustee President.
Patsy Brewer, recording secretary of Sergeant.
Bruce here, board member present.
And Anthony Henry, board member present.
Pat Turner, board member present.
Curtis Whitaker, financial advisor, present via Teams.
Thank you. So I'd like a motion to approve our board meeting minutes on August the 12th.
I make that motion.
May I have a second?
1 second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The board meeting minutes are approved. Financial, you want to do the adoption?
It's up to you. We got the.
Okay.
Approval.
Okay, let's go ahead then and adopt the resolution WTR 2509-12, the capital improvement plan. That's what we just talked
Yep.
about. So may I have a motion to approve that resolution WTR 2509-12?
Also,
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have approved resolution WTR 2509-12. Thank you all. All right, we move on to our financial reports.
Curtis, you want me to take it?
Yes, sir.
I got you. All right. So we're gonna start with our Wayne Township Allen County Financial Management System on page 1. We'll do cash and funds balance sheet from 1/1 to 8/31, all banks year to date. Account number 0101 Township Fund, cash available $1,971,486.89. 0110 Emergency Utility Systems, $100 even. 0121 the Rich Day Seasons Scholarship, $5,619. 0123 2024 Special Events, $2,284.41. 0124 2025 Special Events, $7,300 even. Those two are going to continue to go up, or the 2025 is going to continue to go up as we raise funds. 0126 Debt Services at Trust Indiana, $438,937.13. 0127 Trust Indiana Rainy Day Services, $556,155.11. 0840 Township Assistance, $2,982,209.44. 9999 payroll deductions, $5,033.18. We'll jump down to 1318 representative payee program, $146,033.69. We are currently at 81 people on our payee program, so that number should start going up. We're trying to get to 100 members on that program. So if you flip to the back, what we say we have in cash matches the bank balance. Start our statements. We'll go with 0101 Township Fund from 8/1 to 8/31. You got to flip to the second page on that one. Down at the bottom, you see the month to date expenses, $78,473.18. Year to date, $327,803.26. The remainder of $207,236.74. Next page, 840.1 Township from 8/1 to 8/31. We'll go down to the bottom, up to date, $155,391.64. Year to date is $1,570,777.14, with the remaining of $1,145,945.86. Flip 2 pages to 840.2. This is the one that we really got to keep an eye on. It's 840.2 from 8/1 to 8/31. Month to date is $158,590.45. Year to date is $1,461,085.56, with the remaining $704,414.44. We're at 67% now, but that's been done to the transfer last month that allows us to get to that number. We'll keep a close eye on it. We might need one more small transfer going forward, but it'll be close. It'll be close. Yeah, hopefully we'll be all right. 840.3 is other township assistance from 8/1 to 8/31. Month to date is $610.98. Year to date, $1,883.87, for the remaining of $3,160.13. And that concludes the financial reports. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I think Curtis is still there. He might be able to answer any back to them, so.
Questions? You know? If not. Oh, that's it. So our next meeting is October the 14th. 14. Okay, comments, trustee Nana.
I'll be brief. Electric bill's $410 this month, so we'll take that. Parking lot should be getting done here sometime soon in the next couple of weeks here.
Trustee, I was amazed how many cars were in the lot here that pulled in. What was going on at 4:30?
It's probably people go, oh, we probably saw a lot of people here and all. Like I said, we've been so busy. So that, like I said, that 35, that 35.
I saw your caseworkers too.
So that 35 is going to help. And then, of course, we still got some club soda and,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's time to get up a little bit of everything. So that'll be done over the next couple of weeks. 21st to 24th, we'll go down to ITAs for the yearly conference. Hopefully there's nothing that we're expecting from the legislative side coming this year, but I mean, who knows? So, yeah, so we'll be down there for that. And then also our numbers for the month. Dominique and I, and also Latina, Director of Case Management. Also, before I get to the numbers, we also had Center Township up from Indianapolis to the second largest township. And they had a lot of praise for how organized and how well we did things here in our building. They gave an example of they don't have set appointments. They just let people just come in and go. It's kind of a free for all kind of thing. So, so I do want to give a hat tip to our staff and how we do things. If we've got the second largest township in the state coming and saying we run things well here, so. Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Empowering them, that's great.
Let's see, for the month of August for 2024, we did a total number of requests of 863 with the value at $161,162. For August 2025, we did 693 requests, but our value was at $160,713.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
So we've been seeing some larger bills, especially from city utilities. We gotta have a meeting with them. They've been really difficult to work with lately, so. City utilities.
I don't know, and I just got an increase too.
Yeah, it's.
I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, but I haven't, empty. Also, I'm getting ready to sell, but it's been empty for about 4 months or so, but I have utilities on there. And, now I know I could call the city and tell them to omit the trash removal and also the, I guess there's something else, I guess just trash removal, but nevertheless, darn it, that water.
Through the roof.
Somebody,
I don't see anybody really, is anybody really challenging?
I haven't seen it. No. I haven't seen it.
But then the NIPSCO that going and then the AEPs all on, and they're like, they're so little, like, and I just paid a NIPSCO bill today, it's $29. Of course, the heat's not,
Yeah.
the heat's, summer's not running, but the electric and there's very, the lights on, but that's like maybe $20, $30. But the water is not, I'm not turning the water, that's some of the bitches part of my language. It's being taped, forgive me, but I'm upset. It's like $75. I'm thinking, wait a minute now. I'm wrestling with that. If I were, now, anyway, I've said what I need to say.
you know what I said. They've got party and power down in Indianapolis. And that's what other folks would say. And they are the golden boys out there, utility bodies and.
That's right. I know we got that big infrastructure going on with clean water and runoff water going into the new system. And I'm all behind that. That's all good. I mean, that's clean water and we need to do that. We need to clean our rivers up. Our rivers are vital to us. But still, anyway,
There-
okay.
There is one other document that we'll bring at the next meeting. We have to establish, I don't know if we have or not, the roads and infrastructure fund.
Okay, no.
That is something that we have to do. And we'll bring that to you at the next board meeting and make it retroactive if we need to September 30th.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that is the deadline, the 30th.
Yeah. All right.
And I do want to touch base on one thing on that budget. When we talk about doing something with the homeless, we will have like an RFP, like how we did with the solar panels. So it's gonna be all drawn out. Okay, this is where this money's gonna go. This is the plan is we this individual once again build a place. So it's not just gonna be willy-nilly throwing money
No.
away. So I just want to let you guys know that as well.
Okay.
Anything, board members? Any comments? Just me.
Anything else that's burning in there?
Well, my TV, bleep that out.
That's just with Jim.
Nothing else?
She said no, there's nothing else.
Okay, passing and being taped.
I know.
All right, we have no Wayne Township taxpayers, so, or others, so if there's nothing else to come before us, we'll adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Curtis.
Seeker,
All right. Bye now.
I know.